Good morning. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I have a verse from Philippians, the 4th chapter, which is one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. And that's the truth. But this one says, which I really like them all, but says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Philippians 4:6. I've done that many times. I've had fun today. I've been out doing shorts, and I met this family, well, the mother, the sons, and I even met the grandma. And these two guys, I said, are you on TikTok? His name is Tristan, 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 and his little brother. And he said, yes. And I said, you know how to run TikTok? And he said, yes, I do. I said, okay. Would you want to do a short? He says, well, I might dance. I said, well, if y'all dance, I'll do a short. So he got his little brother over, and they danced. And it just turned out so cute. Y'all have to check that out. Maybe you already have. But yesterday evening, I was sitting thinking, what am I going to talk about with y'all tomorrow? And then I was thinking about my trip from California when we decided to move back to Indiana. Buddy had a job in a laundry. It didn't hardly pay anything. It didn't hardly keep enough money to keep groceries on the table. So we said, let's move back to Indiana. My daddy was sick, and I thought, let's go. So we had a 49 Ford car. Have you ever seen a 49 Ford? I ought to show you what it looks like. I'm going to readjust this thing. I don't like the way it's doing. I think that'll be better. A 49 Ford is a small car. Let me see if I can find one here. I'm going to ask. Picture of 1949 Ford car. There it is. A 1949 Ford. And that's what it looked like. It wasn't very big, and ours was gray. So we loaded. We put on top of that car a playpen and my sewing machine. Because I wasn't, and somewhere in the car trunk probably, we put our 11-inch television, black and white. 11-inch square. It was a small TV, but if you got the antenna right, put you a hanger on it, and maybe some aluminum foil in New Albany, you could get 2 stations, Channel 3 and Channel 11, which we was happy to have because there was some good shows on there. They were funny. I was looking at these 49 Fords. I had a 1947 Buick, and it was a big old car, and I just loved it. And Buddy came home, and he hated it. He couldn't drive that thing. I could not teach him how. Finally, he had a friend that got a stack of comic books, took Buddy out in that car, and he sat and read comic books while Buddy practiced driving. That's the truth. So Buddy finally learned how to drive that big old Buick that I just loved. Anyway, we had that 49 Ford, and we packed it up, and I threw my throw rugs in, my sewing machine, my TV, and my playpen. I put the playpen on top and the sewing machine because we needed that playpen because that's what the twins slept in because they were about 2 years old. We had very little money. We couldn't afford motels or anything like that. We slept in the car because it's about 2 days and 1 night or something like that from California. It's a lot of miles back to Indiana. So we would just sleep in the car, and you just lean on the window, get your little pillow, which we had pillows, and the twins slept in the back in the floor. Or we had the floor full, I think, and we put them on top of all the junk we had. That thing was packed to the gills. Well, we didn't have much money to eat out, and finally we got out into the desert as we was coming home, and there was no restaurants or anything, just the Native Americans, you know. They lived along there, and they had some, like they had like a little store where they sold stuff that they made, like baskets and different stuff. So one morning we was so hungry, and we stopped there, and we said, "Have you got anything, any kind of food you could sell us?" She said, "No, we don't. We just sell, you know, things to people for tour. They were a tourist attraction." She said, "But you know what? I just boiled a bunch of eggs. Would you want some boiled eggs?" We said, "Well, yes." And so she said, "Well, how many?" And so we said, "Well, for the we have babies, 2 little girls, and us." So she just got her a poke and just put us some eggs in it, and that was wonderful. We had boiled eggs for breakfast, enough for the babies and enough for me and James, because there was no restaurant there, and we didn't even think to bring anything with us. I tell you what, we were just 2 dumb kids is what we were. So when we got home, we traveled on. Well, when we was out in the desert, it was my turn to drive, and it was getting dark. It was getting nighttime. Because he was tired, we just drove straight on through. And I got real tired, and he said to me, he said, "Whatever you do, do not pull over, because that's all sand." And I said, you know what? I got so sleepy I couldn't make it any further. And I pulled over, and we couldn't get out of it. So anyway, we throw rugs under the tires. The next morning, we just sat there, and we got out of that desert, and we came on home. And we made it home, and we had $15 in our pocket when we got home. And then I checked my bank account, and we had about $30 in our bank account. But we made it. We persevered, and we came back to Indiana. And when we stayed with the mother-in-law, the baby twins, they slept in that playpen because I had quilts, and we just made a bed for them right in that playpen. And they had a place to sleep. So I've had an exciting life, and God is good, and I'm so thankful I have number 3. We had fun this morning. We went to the yard sale, and I showed pictures on a short. It was a estate sale, and James filled up his van and with good stuff, and then he went and got his truck, got a bunch of lumber, and a bathtub, which I don't know what he's going to do with. He said he don't either, but he'll find a place, because he'll buy another house or something. Who knows what that man's going to do. I don't think he does either. But we have fun. God is good, and may he bless you. And I tell you, I want to thank all you subscribers. I can't believe what's going on. You know, that's another miracle of God. But I had so much fun making shorts this morning. Y'all check them out. Check out my other videos. And thank you for subscribing and taking time to listen. I got tickled the other day. Somebody commented and said, "Well, I just put up with you." But who it was, enjoyed putting up with me. And I told him, well, I put up with y'all too. So it goes 2 ways. And it's no problem for me. So God bless you. Have a good day. And don't forget to walk that walk where Jesus would be pleased with you. Bye-bye.